Leia and I are heading into the shop to get after it today. We got lots of work to do, which is awesome. Again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching all these videos. I really like doing this, and it seems like you guys like it too. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I know I keep saying that, but it helps us as a channel if you guys comment. Even if you tell me you hate it and we need to do a better job, that would be fine too. Like I said, let me know if there's something else I can do better. Let me know if there are specific jobs you want to see. Now, I can't force that necessarily, but if I know that you guys are interested in something, I can maybe make sure that I film it. Because I don't film everything I do all day. That would just take too much time. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you think about the Shlog. Let me know what you think about that dog. She's a good dog. Actually, she's kind of a rough dog. But I just hired a trainer. I'm excited because we're going to get her dialed in. Yeah, I'm stoked. The hip's feeling good. My trip to Arizona is coming up very soon. Obviously, there's going to be lots of filming down there for that. That's going to be super fun. And yeah, it's starting to be springtime here in Montrose. Sort of, kind of. It's heading that way. So yeah, Daily Shlog, here we come. Guys, we're at the shop finally. Been kind of goofing off, not really goofing off, but taking care of some business this morning, mailing some things out, mailing patron shirts out to our folks on Patreon. So again, thank you guys for that. I really appreciate that support. First job today, super duper easy speed bleed valves for this Husqvarna. TE300. Gonna put some bleeders on these forks so we can get the air out of them when the air needs to come out of them. So if you guys don't have bleeders on your forks, you need them. You're supposed to bleed forks every time you go ride, like every time. Just put the bike on a stand, get the weight off the wheels, bleed the fork, go ride. No one does that. Well, okay, that's not true. Not enough people do that. The buttons make it super easy so you don't have to have a tool to do that. So, and John at System Tech Racing makes hands down the best ones. They're actually patented and they don't leak. A lot of the cheapy ones actually do leak. Like if you buy the $20 ones or $15 ones from China, they'll end up leaking or weeping, and that's no good because then your forks aren't actually working right. John's are awesome. If anything ever does happen to them, he stands behind it 100% and will replace them. So put these things in here real fast and then get to work on some bigger stuff. Alright, we got the fork bleeders on. Obviously no big deal. But now, first things first, giant thank you to Jimmy Neihart who gave us the Black Rifle Coffee Company coffee. And now we're going to try that because it's coffee time. So my shop coffee setup is a French press and a jet boil. I know this isn't having to do with motorcycles really, but it kind of is if you're a coffee drinker. So the Beyond Black, I'm super stoked to try it. Thank you, veteran owned. I'm stoked to support these guys. I'll probably be buying some coffee from them, I'm sure. So let that heat up. That little thing gets orange when it heats up. All right. There we go. Now we gotta let her wait about 4 minutes, and then we'll give her a shot. Let's see. It smells good. Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. All right, so I'm finally gonna actually do some real work. I've been goofing off, playing with the dog, helping Zach, who's been adjusting valves on yet another 350 in the shop. That's like 3 350s in 2 weeks. So got the valves adjusted. Actually, this is one of the few KTMs. One of the intake valves is actually tight, so we had to adjust that. It's It's not often that happens, honestly, on these new style motors. It seems to be pretty good. But the customer, he just got this thing, or maybe he's had it a while. Anyway, nothing's really been done to it for a really long time. So yeah, we're gonna fire this thing up and see how it does. The one complaint he had is it backfired, like going down long hills and things like that, and it might be a little on the lean side on the bottom, even though, yeah, it's fuel injected. These early fuel injected bikes, they had the bottom end pretty lean. Even on the XCFWs, the EXCs are always lean because of emission standards, but the XCWs were usually pretty good, but needed a little love. So we might actually have to adjust the throttle position sensor. We'll see if we have to do that. Now that we got the valves adjusted, it might be perfect. So while he's doing that, I am going to be installing a steering stabilizer on this 500 here. He brought me the stabilizer. It's a GPR stabilizer. We ordered a stabilizer mount kit, so we're going to do that. We got to get this thing front wheel off the ground, take the bars off, take the triple clamp off, get the mount onto the frame, and then put it all back on, get it all dialed in, and we'll be good to go. So one of the things about putting a steering stabilizer on any bike, KTM or other, you really don't want the front end completely off the ground because the forks will want to slide out and down on the ground anyway with the wheel on it. So one of the cool things that I own that I will put a link in the description for if you're interested is this stand. I don't really like these pop-up stands as just stands. I don't like to put my bike on them just out in the shop because if you accidentally tip it, you know, knock this up, it drops down, the bike falls down. But this one's cool. It's made by Fly. You can raise and lower the platform. So what you can do is you can drop this down and you can get it to where just the weight comes off. So right there, that's probably a little bit much. So we can come down a little bit more. And like that. And so now the wheel's still touching the ground, which is cool, but the weight is off of it so that we can do what we need to do without everything just sliding off. It's actually really nice. And then I still chalk up that front wheel so that it can't roll out. And honestly, all you need is a 2x4 for that. Put that there. So now I can start taking stuff off. And I'm going to take this headlight mask all the way off because we just ordered him a moto-minded super rad headlight that will be here hopefully sometime next week. That's pretty good. It started. He did a good job. So one of the coolest things about a KTM front end, first of all, no castle nut thing like the Japanese bikes have. Also, it's super well sealed. You got an O-ring on top of this. This all goes like this, by the way. You got an O-ring on top to help keep water and dust out. Then you got a rubber seal on the inside to help it. So honestly, KTM steering head bearings last a lot longer than a lot of others. While this thing's off, I'm going to go ahead and spray some of my favorite spray grease in there. Let it find its home. It looks greasy anyway, but why not put a little bit more, right? So now this is the mount that goes on the frame. It's gonna go like that. Well, I don't like riding in no cage. No, I don't. I don't like how it feels. No, no, no.
All right. So another cool thing about KTM's, by not having that castle nut, you just have to torque this guy to 17 Newton meters, and then you're good. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's so nice not to have to like set that castle nut, back it off, all the stuff you have to do normally. Just makes this thing so much easier. So now that that's set, I'm gonna raise this thing up further up in the air, make sure everything moves freely, so we don't have and check and make sure this cup or nothing is actually binding against this mount. So you want just a little bit of clearance between this cup and the mount so that they don't touch, but not a ton. So then tighten it up. And the thing about this mount is it just needs to be tight, right? It just needs to be on there because you just don't want it moving when you're twisting the bars. Get it nice and tight. So drop that pin in. Now we're gonna set the height so that it's good. Got a little sheet, but basically you want that flush when it's down in there. And that looks just about perfect, just like that. So
That's good. Keeps you out of trouble.
hey everybody, G-Love.
Hey, what's happening?
G-Love's the guy that makes that clock. Super cool clock that's in the rotor and the one in a sprocket. So let me know if you guys need one of those. We can make them any color with whatever. So
Make anything you want.
that's right. Anything you want. Gary can weld up. He can weld up the crack of dawn.
Don't tell anybody that.
That's right. And Leia loves them because he brings treats.
Yeah.
So if you come to the shop, bring treats because that makes that dog happy.
Got you another one. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good dog. That's a good dog. So we got the stabilizer on. Now we're gonna put the bars and everything back on. We'll be good to go. Then we're waiting on the headlight and a few other things. All right, so next job, we got that. Hang on a second. So we got the steering stabilizer all on that 500. Let me show you what that looks like. It looks good, even though it's a red stabilizer. But yeah, all mounted up, good to go. That thing's ready. Now we're waiting for some more parts, the headlight, chain and sprockets, get some shroud graphics done and some other stuff. Now I am finally actually working on the DR. So here's the thing. This customer told me, oh yeah, it runs, no problem, just needs a battery. So I put a battery in it. Let's see if it starts. I'm going to guess right now that it doesn't, but we'll find out. Key on. Ooh, look at that. Everything lights up. Kill switch is where it's supposed to be. Go ahead and roll the choke on here. Turn the gas to prime. I don't know if there's any. Oh, look. The petcock's leaking. Weird. Oh, that's right. It's a Suzuki, so you have to pull the clutch for the start button to work. Weird. Let's try something. Brake clean in the airbox. That's cool. It's even running longer than just on the brake clean, so maybe it does run. I don't know.
That's not good, though.
We're gonna have to fix that. What's happening, John? Hey, no worries, man.
Hey, that's good. Podcast, huh?
Yeah, YouTube video. There's John. Say hi, John.
What's up, guys?
All right, guys. So you saw the petcock leaking, puking. I ended up actually having a petcock. I don't know why I had a vacuum-operated petcock here, but I did, and it fit. So that's that. I had to do a little bit of finagling with the vacuum line, change size, but that worked out really good. And let me show you something. So chokes on, idles. Sounds pretty good, you know, like, all right, great, cool. Just roll this choke off. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. So that carburetor definitely needs to be clean. This thing also has an oil leak. Let me show you what's going on there and what I think it might be. So if we take a look here, it's oily down here, and the first thought is, oh, head gasket, except for the head gasket is right there. This is all below that, so, which is good, because the head gasket's a whole lot harder to fix. Could be the base gasket, which is, you know, whatever, or I'm hoping, let me show you, that maybe it's the cam chain tensioner, and you can see, if you look right in there, almost looks like the gasket's poking out a little bit, and that would be about the level of where the oil's maybe coming from. It'd be misting everywhere. It definitely is pretty gooped up in there. Still could be a base gasket, although it's a DR650, and they just don't have that many problems, honestly. They're pretty bulletproof motors, so I'm going to start by getting the carburetor cleaned out enough so that it'll run. Then I'm going to do super duper clean of the engine from the outside, and then go riding around and see if I can't hunt down exactly where it's coming from. But hoping for his sake that it's not a base gasket. But, you know, if it is, it is. We'll put a top end in it, but I don't know. Everything else is awfully clean, so we'll see. And like I said, that little gasket poking out is kind of a telltale sign. So, all right, let's start with the carburetor. I'm going to try actually to do it with it on the bike first. See if I can't blow out that pilot jet and main jet and see what happens. If not, we'll have to take it off and clean it. The only reason I'm doing it that way, or even attempting it that way, is because this guy really doesn't have a pile of money to spend. And if I can get that carburetor to work without having to take it off and do the whole deal, it'll save him almost $100. So, you know, if we can save $100 there, maybe we can put it into the tires, for instance, which would be a safety thing. But if we can get the carburetor working, that'd be good. So, yep, I'm going to take that apart and see. I'll check in with you guys here if I can show you something while I'm doing that. While it was on the bike, which is nice. Looks really pretty good. I mean, the gas is kind of gnarly and old. It's not super gummed up, so that's good. It makes me have hope. Also, it's kind of hard to see, but this is like the super simplest 4-stroke carburetor ever. Just got a main jet here, pilot jets up in this hole. So I'm gonna pop those out and clean them and put them back in, and use my air nozzle to come up in here and blow that out and see if it works. I have good hopes that this is going to work, which would be awesome. Like I said, save the guy about $100, and then we can go forward and figuring out what else is wrong. Look at this chain, though. Ugh. Yeah. That's no good. That's all right. We got, you know, first things first. Got to get it running. Then we got to fix the oil leak, and then we get through all that. We'll talk about chains and sprockets and tires and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to clean this thing out. I think it's going to be good. Right. We got that all cleaned up. Well, cleaned up as we can on the bike. Let's see if we got her solved. Moving in the right direction. Let it run a little bit, see if it might be okay. Let's try turning the choke off again. Maybe. So the gas in here is pretty old. which we definitely need to replace with some fresh gas, but might try opening up the fuel screw a little bit here. See if we can make it work. By the way, this tool is awesome. See how it runs when we twist the throttle again. I think it might clean up. Put fresh gas in that thing tomorrow and check it out. But now we gotta figure out where the oil leak's coming from. So, all right, so we got the Suzuki figured out. Let me show you something here. So I washed the bike and got it all cleaned up, and then I ran it long enough to burn off all the water that might be hanging out on the cylinder. And like I thought, let me see if I can get this camera down there. If you look right there on top of the cam chain tensioner, there's a little oily spot. It's kind of hard to see with the camera, but there's an oily spot right there. And over time, when the oil gets hot and you're going down the road, that would definitely cause the mess that we saw. So that's a good thing. That's a relatively inexpensive fix. Get a cam chain tensioner gasket, put that back on there. Bike seems to be running pretty good. It's running a little bit better the more I run it. I might still have to take the carburetor off, but I'm kind of hopeful that if I put some good fresh gas through it, it'll clear up and run good, because it runs pretty good. It's just a little bit of a dead spot when you roll onto it, but that's not horrible. And if I have to, we'll take the carburetor off. But yeah, now I can put some grips on it, some other things that he was asking for, and kind of get it to where it's sort of roadworthy, and then we can talk to him about what we want to do next. So another good one. Finally got to that thing. I know I've been talking about it for like a week and a half now, but finally got to it. Got the battery in, which actually was what was holding it up. Yeah, so stoked to find that. That's a nice easy fix. Don't have to charge him a whole pile of money to do a top end or something like that. So that's a good thing. Getting towards the end of the day, gonna clean up a little bit here, and then I'll hit you guys with the outro. Hey, right on, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for today's daily Shlog. I hope it was informative. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Got to work on dirt bikes, so that's awesome. Got one more day left in the week. Tomorrow is Saturday. I don't have a ton of high pressure work to do, just some stuff to finish up the DR650 because we have a gasket, or we're going to get a gasket tomorrow. And then, I don't know what's next. Anyway, join me tomorrow, find out what's next. Guys, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels, and please, it's seriously getting nice outside. You got to find some time to ride your dirt bikes!